Hello. This is going to be an introduction to The Piano for the Blind Student, written by Richard Taesch, and it is a series of books that teaches blind people how to read bar over bar music, which is primarily piano, organ, music for keyboard. I will also be demonstrating some things on here. Some people might be wondering, how do blind people play music and play, like, memorize, or like how do they do it? How do they play and read music at the same time? Uh, we don't. um, but I should say the author recommends that the student goes through at least the part 1 of the reading course that he wrote, which is pretty good. I personally would wait until after part 2. That way you get more reading practice in, which will make learning an instrument a whole lot easier, if you can instantly recognize what these symbols are. So we are going to look through and see what we can learn in this book. The difficulty level in this is, I would say, grade 1, primer for piano. Not horribly too difficult. The main purpose of this first course is just to get used to reading music in bar over bar format. And this is your introduction to teachers and students. And so the first symbols you learn are your right hand and your left hand. And then there's something here about dot 3, but I need to read that and see what it is, but it's not going to really bother me right now. And then here is your first, essentially it's your first study. And so when a student is looking at music in Braille, they are reading through a section and they are memorizing it. And then they're reading through a section and they're memorizing it. That is how music is learned in Braille. And this is a pretty short example. I don't know, I know some stuff, like notes and things, just from reading stuff and trying my hand at it, but I'm not fluent. So my example here might be someone who is still learning to read notes, per se. So what would happen is, I actually have this in Braille, and again, just like the lesson books for the introduction to music, these books, all 3 of them, also are in Braille. So we're going to look at number 1, which is right here. And then this is your time signature. And then this thing here, out here, this is your measure counting status. This says we're on measure 1. If we look at number 2, this is measure 1, and this is measure 5. This says this first measure is measure 5. So that's how that works. And so then, looking at this, it looks very much like traditional music. Like, you have a right hand and a left hand, and they're on top of each other, which is good. But the beats don't line up. We haven't got that far yet, but take my word, the beats don't line up yet. Very rarely do they line up. So if I were to read through this and memorize it, let's see, I'm starting on me. One of my subscribers would probably tell me to wear a blindfold, so I'm not cheating. He might have me require this. So there's that's your first note. That's my first note, and I'm gonna sing this. And I'm gonna try to memorize it if I can find my line. Here it is. There it is. Okay, so we got 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. I don't know what pitch this is. Sol, mi, re. And I gotta find the left hand. That's a bunch of rests. Okay, here we got the first note for the left hand says do, re, mi, fa, sol, do. And that's how that works. So this is a really short snippet. I probably haven't memorized, like, tonally. So, if I were to just run through it. Mi, fa, sol, mi, re, 2, 3, 4. And then the left hand. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, 2, 3, 4, do, 2, 3, 4. And that's how that's put together. Now the next part would be putting it together in time. So I'm going to put you over here. And make sure you don't fall, because we can't have you falling. Okay, I think that should work. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Screwed up on the rhythm, and that's how music is put together in Braille. Other than that one screw up on the right hand. I guess that's kind of what it is. And then a student would just go and practice it a couple times, make sure that they can play it. Like, I'd go back and fix that rhythm that I screwed up on. But yeah, that's how music is learned in Braille. I'm trying to reposition myself. So we're gonna look and see what else we can find in here. Gonna do a double page here. So the music isn't horribly too bad. Oh, here. Here they introduce different octaves that are not introduced in the Braille, what do they call it? The introduction to music. So they have most of the octaves here. I included the other octaves that are not included in this chart because I like to be very complete in my knowledge. So that is there. So the student learns all about these octaves. And like all those other tests and quizzes and homeworks and stuff, these, like, sections like these can be utilized for practice work, having the student write out different octaves, having the student write out different pitches using different octaves and then playing them on the piano, having them read different octaves, and identifying them. So there isn't a whole lot of new signs in this book. I think that may have been like the only big thing. Other than that, most of the stuff in here is pretty much music. That's what that looks like. So your music is, by this point, it's starting to get a little bit bigger. Like in Braille, it's getting bigger. So that's that book. The next book primarily just has, you know what I'm going to do? There. No. I don't know if that's going to work any better. This book is mostly like just Repertoire. If I can find the first page. There it is. So most of this is just music repertoire, which can be studied as you're going through the other book or after. I honestly don't know because I haven't yet read the foreword for music reading for this course. So, wait. Still not very good viewing. I'm trying to make this good and it's not working. Okay, I'm back in my comfy chair. My back was really starting to ache on the bench. I don't know why. I don't think that's a right bench for that particular thing there. So this is like a poetry thing, I guess, that Mr. Taesch wrote out for this first piece of music. And that's what that looks like. And your Braille music is getting bigger. Like, not getting bigger, but it's just getting longer. So there's going to be more study time as people start learning this. I'm going to skip through a bunch of pages because there really isn't anything as far as like new symbols or concepts in here. It's just different, more music. I think there might be like some stuff here and there, but not anything too detrimental. I think a lot of it's just like, by the way, this is when both hands play together, or something. I'm not sure what that is, but it's something. Yeah, I'm not sure what that highlighting is, but yeah. It's something related to Braille music. So next we're going to move on to part 3, which is the fun part. And correction, this is book 2. I said part 3, but it's like the third book. This book is going to cover things like piano pedaling, chords, intervals, things like that. triads. And then there's a section on piano pedaling. And in this section, a little bit of dynamic markings. The seventh interval is introduced. So that's good. Maybe they might introduce a dominant 7. Ooh, that would be fun. Introduction, reading, more reading, more reading, more reading. Basically more reading. I'm trying to find this section. Oh, that's a bad example. Here. Okay. So they have a sign when we write music stacked on top like this. It means that the two tones are going to be played together. I'll show you. So, when I get like a tripod or something, this will be a lot easier. Okay, so here we got 2 notes there. And what happens is when we play this, or when we write it in Braille, it's written with a sign that means to play this particular, it's called an interval. And an interval is nothing more than a distance between two steps, two notes. So like here, we call that a third. And that's what this thing here is. They want you to play a third. So you play your first note. I'm going to do it down here because it's easier. So you play your first note, and then they have a sign that says to play a third above it. And that's how that is, how that's built. If you want to do like a third below, I think you need a different Braille sign for that. Or something. I'm looking for my music so I can show you. Here. So we have, okay, because this is written in, let's see. Yeah, that is right. That's a do. Why do they, yeah, do is your bass note. And then you have two, this is a symbol for the third. Why there's 2 of them, I don't know. I don't know. I think that means to play it below, but I'm not sure. I would have to look that up. But then, like, if you wanted to play, like, a chord, let me see if I can find an example. Here. Sorry for making everybody sick. If you wanted to play this chord, you would have a third, and then you'd have another sign that says to play it a fifth above. So that would be like from here. So you have a sign that stands for that, and then you have a sign that stands for this. And that's a fifth. And that's what it looks like here in Braille. So that's your note, and that's your interval sign, and that's the one to play the very top note. That tells you that it's a fifth above this note. Most of you are probably going to have no clue what I'm talking about, but I'll explain it to you if you want me to. So that is how chords and stuff are built. So if we wanted to build like this one from the bottom or from the top, on the top line, we have, this is a sol, and then this is a third. No, that's a third, and then that's a fifth. And this is read below. So we have a sol, which is here. And then we have a third, which is here. And then we have our fifth, which is here. And that's how how chords are built on the right hand. On the right hand, the intervals are spelled down. And on the left hand, they're spelled up from the bass note. Because the bass note is what it keeps your ground of music. And then on the right hand, it's built from the melody, from the top note. And usually your top note is the melodic note. So that's how that is done. And like I said, there's symbols in here. I don't know why they have things written out the way they do, because I have not officially studied through this course. I've got a bunch of other stuff going on right now. So that's another sign. It means to play it a fourth apart, which is a different sound. And then you got a music exercise for that. So that is intervals and chords. Here. Next, a couple pages later, they have your pedal up, down. They have your pedal down and your pedal up button. Please like. They have your pedal. They have your pedal down and then your pedal up. Braille sign. I don't know why you'd need a button. But okay. So that's the big thing in that book. I don't know if it's in this book or I think it's later. Yeah, it's later in this book. They have, where is it? I thought I seen it. They have, they're phrase markings. And I can't find them. Here. No. Darn it. I can't find them. And I really don't want to be... Here. Nope. That's something else. Oh my gosh. I can't find the phrase markings. There's a couple signs. And it represents these guys here. They're little arches. And I have no clue where they are. But they're in here somewhere. So, that is basically how that is, the music, the piano book. I wish I knew where that phrase marking thing was. Oh, well. Well, you guys will just have to buy the book and see what the phrase marking looks like. But that is a rough demonstration stroke overview of how music works in Braille. So, if you want to continue with this fun adventure, you can click over here, and that will lead you to the teaching books. If you want to watch the other videos on this playlist, check it out here. And subscription, you can subscribe wherever the subscription thing is, because I don't know how to get the subscription up yet. All right, talk to you later. Bye.